Okay, I think that's, I hope this is on. There's your 4 spines coming up, so that you can get an idea of what your corners are doing. And now I'll show you how to do that. Alright, slip knot on the needle. Hold the 2 needles next to each other. I'm going to wind it in a figure 8, which is why this is the figure 8 cast on. We want 8 loops on each needle for a total of 16 stitches. So I'll stop in a moment and count. 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. Alright, working yarn is coming off of the right needle just like it should. Slide your right needle up through so that you have enough slack in your cable. And we're just going to knit right through these loops. Your last one will go through the original slip knot. Okay, turn your work. Slide that left needle down in. Did I do that?
No, just refocusing.
Oh, I thought it would follow me. Okay, again, loosen up your right needle so that it can do, and let's knit off this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, what we've done now is transform those loose wraps into actual knit stitches. So, this is the center of your bag where you have 2 rows of live stitches working out from each other without a seam in the middle. Okay, so for our first increase row, I have 8 stitches here, so I'm going to call them by number. Knit stitch number 1, yarn over. Place your first marker, and that's going to be the marker that's the odd color. Knit stitch number 2, yarn over. Knit the next 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over, place your stitch marker, knit, yarn over, knit. That was stitch 8. I'm going to turn around and do the same thing to the other side. For right now, while we have so few stitches, it is helpful to think of this project in terms of 2 sides rather than knitting in the round. Okay, so I'm going to do the very same thing. Knit stitch number 1, yarn over. Put your stitch marker. Knit stitch 2, yarn over. Knit these 4 middle ones. 3, 4. Yarn over your last stitch marker. Knit that is your last spine stitch, yarn over and knit. Okay, that was an increase row. Slide your needles again, and we'll do our first knit row. Now on the knit rows, we are going to knit those yarn overs. So, knit stitch 1, knit that yarn over, slip your stitch marker. This was stitch 2. It's now stitch 3, but think of it in terms it was stitch 2. Or we can call it our spine stitch. This is always going to be the spine stitch. It's always going to have yarn overs on each side. Knit your yarn over. Knit your yarn over, slip your marker, knit the spine stitch, knit the yarn over. Megan, remember to untwist yours so that you have a hole when you're done? Okay. Let's stop for just a minute and let's look and see what we just did. All right. We started with 1 stitch on the end of each. Then we did a yarn over, so now we have 2 stitches on the ends of each. Okay, when you look at it in the round, you have 4 stitches there, and then you have your spine row. Okay, we had 4 stitches in the middle, but because we knit those yarn overs, we now have 6 stitches in the middle. So at the end of that row, when you've done your increase row and then you've done your knit row, you've gone from 8 stitches per side to 12 stitches per side. Right? So if you have 12 stitches on each side, you're good to go, and let's do our second increase round. Knitting stitch 1 and stitch 2. Remember, stitch 2 used to be a yarn over. So I'm going to slip my marker, yarn over, knit my spine stitch, yarn over, knit. Now there are 6 center stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slip that. Add my next yarn over, knit my spine, yarn over again, knit my 2 end stitches. And we will continue in this pattern. I'm going to pause it now and knit a few more rows. And go. Alright, I am on another increase row. I've done a row without you. I'm going to knit, knit, knit this one. That was a yarn over. Slide my marker, knit my spine. I didn't yarn over. Yarn over, knit my spine, yarn over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slide my marker, yarn over, spine, yarn over, and do these 3 on the end. Let's do a knit round and then we'll stop and count, and I believe you'll be able to see what's going on. Okay, so I knit 3 of these. I take the marker off, knit the yarn over, put the marker back on, and that way it's in the correct spot right next to my spine next time I come around. Knit the spine, knit the yarn over. This is a knit row. I know it's a knit row because I've come all the way back around to my oddly colored stitch marker. That's the reason why one of them is a different color. That tells you what your first corner. Okay, slip that off. Knit the yarn over, slip it back on. Knit, knit, knit. And knit. All right. At this point, if you push it to the end and look at it as though it is a circular piece of knitting, and not as though it's two sides. You should be able to see what we've done here. You've got these two, I call them a spine stitch because when we are making a triangular shawl, this is exactly how we increase it and make it into a triangle. If it helps you, you can call it a corner stitch. You have 4 corners, and you can see as you increase. Every time you do this round, you're increasing each section. Let's call these quadrants. This one you increase twice because you have a yarn over at each end. This one you increase 2 because you have a yarn over at each end. Okay? Now that you've established your pattern, it's much easier to see. You're always going to knit what used to be a yarn over, and then yarn over and knit this corner or spine stitch. And you'll continue on in this way. You do an increase round, a knit round, an increase round, a knit round. As it gets bigger, it'll be much easier. Usually once I get past this point, or maybe 2 or 3 more rounds, I just go ahead and lose the extra stitch markers and leave just my corner one on. Although, of course, you should be able to see. You get up to this one. I haven't knit this side yet. That's a yarn over. I shouldn't put another yarn over on top of a yarn over, or I'll end up with a ginormous hole. If I have a yarn over, I need to knit it. If I have a knit stitch next to my spine stitch, I need to put a yarn over. Does that make sense? If you see a knit, add a yarn over. If you see a yarn over, make sure you knit it. Okay, but that's basically it, and I promise you as you do it, it will make more sense. You're going to go on bigger and bigger, and the next part of this video, or actually I'll probably make it a different video, will be your Turkish bag stitch.